All right. Welcome to All City Stadium here at Denver, Colorado. I'm Jeremy Goldson, joined by Hunter Worley. It's the Mountain Vista Golden Eagles and the Rocky Mountain Lobos in a 5A state playoff baseball game. The Golden Eagles and Lobos, both 2-0 coming in, so both of these teams are assured of playing on Friday. Today's game gives one team a big advantage as we head into the action on next week. Hunter?
Before first pitch, we're going to announce the lineups. The defense for the Lobos today from left field to right field is Brady Morris, Tyler Highland, and Trenton Maderone. Infield from left to right is Kalen Hammer, John Sorensen, Tyler Mataloid, and Spencer Genju. And behind the plate doing the catching is going to be Jordan Unrich, and Trey Wagner will be doing the pitching, and stepping into the box first for Mountain Vista is leading off shortstop junior Zach Paschke. Mountain Vista's batting order is going to be Zach Paschke, center fielder John Crissa, pitcher senior Cole Blatchford, first baseman Sam Ireland, catcher Grant McGill, DH Alex Clother. He will be hitting for Zach Hoffman center as the first pitch to Crissa is taken upstairs for ball one.
So pitching tonight for Rock Canyon, Trey Walters. He's their number 3. Hasn't taken a loss yet this season.
Paschke hits a high fly ball to center field. Highland's going to call it and make the catch for out number 1, bringing up John Crissa. Hitting 7, Alessandro Aragon will be playing third base. Drew Stahl at second, batting 8th. And wrapping up the Mountain Vista lineup, playing right field, number 8, senior Dan Cook. Left-handed batter John Crissa steps up. Well, Jeremy, Mountain Vista's pitcher, Rocky Mountain Lobos pitcher Trey Wagner's a 3-pitch guy. He'll come at you with a fastball, curveball, changeup, keep hitters off balance, and that's how he gets his outs.
Both of these teams are definitely going to be a little bit off balance. That first game went 3 hours and 15 minutes. We're starting here at 4:40.
As John Crissa flies out to right fielder, as a little bit of miscommunication in the outfield, but the out is made. That'll bring up senior Cole Blatchford, the Air Force commit. Mountain Vista's big power hitter. Finished with the most home runs and RBIs on the team this year for Mountain Vista.
Both of these batters have been underneath the ball, and the third one is as well, although
But
this one's got some air.
And Cole Blatchford takes one the other way. That is going to get Mountain Vista on the board here early in the first inning.
We didn't have time to talk about the wind, but if you can see the flag there at the upper part of our screen, it's blowing out to right now with about 20, 25 miles an hour. And Cole hit that ball pretty well.
How about that? First pitch Cole sees of the day, takes out to right field. That's a good swing there. Gets Mountain Vista on the board early.
Stream, though.
It's true.
And a great start for Mountain Vista. And when your number 1 guy gets a hit like that to start the ball game, you got to feel good.
Definitely.
Ireland swings and fouls the first pitch back from Walters. And as a pitcher, you put a couple of balls up in the air, but now you just keep doing what you're doing, and you can't control this funky stadium. You can't control the wind. You just have to do your job.
Ireland drives one right. This has a chance, and that one is gone. Cole Blatchford and Sam Ireland going back-to-back here in the first inning for Mountain Vista.
Well, and this is an example of what makes Mountain Vista dangerous when they hit the ball well. Both Sam and Cole keep their weight back, keep their hands in, and as that ball floats across the top of the plate, they just hammer it. But really good balance, really good piece of hitting.
So 3 pitches and Mountain Vista scores 2 runs. How about that?
Great start for the Golden Eagles. Not a team that is renowned for their hitting. Rocky Mountain, statistically and certainly reputation-wise, a much better offensive team. But a great start for Mountain Vista, put 2 runs on the board before the Lobos even come up to bat.
Let's see if Grant McGill can get in on some of this action as he digs in. First pitch to him is taken and fouled.
Now, Grant did hit a big home run yesterday.
He did. Mountain Vista was struggling to get offense. Ireland got that base hit to get him started, and then Grant did hit that big home run for him.
Break up a scoreless tie and give them a lead against Broomfield that they would not relinquish.
Ball 1 is taken in the dirt by Grant. Evens count at 1-1.
Rocky Mountain, good team though, Hunter. A team that's won a lot of games, won a lot of state tournaments, and they're not going to be rattled by 2 runs in the Colorado altitude. Ground ball.
And ground ball's booted by the shortstop. That's going to be Sorensen.
The ball came right to him, and it took a clean hop on the dirt, but he took his eye off it. Thought it was going to go into the glove without him willing it to, and another runner on base.
Trying to work through that one before it got to him. That's going to allow Mountain Vista's inning to continue, and that's going to bring up Alex Clothier, the designated hitter on the mound,
Not
up
yet.
to the plate.
We got a little bit of a pitching conversation. I don't think any of these guys are doing anything wrong. That hit by McGill wasn't hit particularly well. It was just a poor play by the shortstop. But we talked about these two teams had been here since before 2 o'clock. They've been watching and watching and watching and watching, and then a quick infield, no national anthem. Everybody's going to be a little rusty as we get going today.
Definitely. Hopefully Mountain Vista can settle in a little bit with this offense that they've got here in the first inning, and hopefully those mistakes don't come for them as well.
Yeah, that's very well said.
So big left-handed hitter, Alex Collier, number 22.
Interesting to see how he throws him. If he throws him in or to his inside, the same outside pitches he was throwing to the righties, Alex could hit the ball a long way. If he stays outside on him, might be able to get an out. First pitch is outside.
It's a good call there, Jeremy.
That's why they pay me the big money.
Yeah.
Walters doesn't throw particularly hard. He's about location and mixing speeds. Very similar to Cole Blatchford.
That pitch hits the outside corner. Yes, both pitchers are number 3 for their team. Cole may be a 2A, 2B pitcher for Mountain Vista, but both have filled that 3-place role this season.
Sorry, I beg your pardon, Hunter. There were times this season that Cole Blatchford was the number 1, but as the season progressed, with Sam Ireland really growing into that role of being a solid 2, and then Jack, been a number 1 all year long.
Definitely. Trey Wagner is 3-0 on the year with a 2.1 ERA, but he has only thrown 16 innings, so hasn't gotten in that much.
And pitched a whole lot.
Throw over to first just to check on
it's my least
Jameson
favorite thing in baseball. Just pitch. Who cares about the runner?
Cooper Jameson is running for Grant McGill, so he will be the courtesy runner at first base.
Yeah, we missed that.
Ball's driven the other way, and that's going to get down. That's a foul ball.
Yeah, not by much. You would have thought with the wind it would float its way back down. Here at All City Field, 340 down the lines, 360 to the power alleys, 380 to center. The wind tends to move things towards right, or it's just a better power alley to right. Very similar to Coors Field for those of you who recognize the bullpens at Coors Field. 340 down the lines, definitely reachable by these players. Not a ton of, actually quite a lot of foul territory, especially in right field.
So Clothier has a 2-2 count here. Leg kick, the pitch. Curveball is hit, chopped to third, fielded. Hammer's going to throw across the diamond to retire Clothier, and that's going to do it for the first. But Mountain Vista gets 2 runs on 2 hits, leaving 1 on. And a good start for Mountain Vista, huh, Jeremy?
Great start. I mean, and the home run by Cole Blatchford just got everybody a little looser, and I think it reminded the Rock Canyon guys, hey, this is a pretty good baseball team here. And Mountain Vista certainly belongs here. Rocky Mountain, with 17 wins out of their last 18 and only 1 loss in state, certainly has to be considered one of the favorites.
Definitely.
But on the other hand, they didn't play in a very tough league. And
that's
they
true.
Wasted some pretty mediocre opposition. And that Mountain Vista, on the other hand, has played in a really tough league, lost some games that are head scratchers. But over the last really 2 weeks, they've just shown guts and won tight game after tight game after tight game. Certainly both these teams know what they're in for today. But you'd asked a good start for the Golden Eagles. Back-to-back home runs. You're never going to turn that down.
Definitely. I think it definitely helps that one of their home runs, their first one came from the guy on the mound saying, I'm going to help myself out. So I think the fact that Cole Blatchford was able to help himself out and was thinking he's going to pick us up today gave Mountain Vista a little bit of a breather.
Now, you've seen Cole Blatchford pitch. How fast does he throw? Low 80s on a good day?
Yeah, most likely. Blatchford doesn't throw as hard as some guys like, I can't remind me of the Regis pitcher's name.
Wow.
The number 1 kid in the state right now.
Really fast.
But Blatchford, yeah, he's going to touch low 80s, maybe mid 80s on a good day, but he really spots up, finds his locations, mixes speeds, mixes pitches to work hitters off balance. He likes to work backwards most of the time, is what I've noticed in his last couple starts. He'll start guys off with curveball, changeup, and then work. Once he gets ahead in the count, he's going to go back to that fastball and throw it right by guys. So
I'm doing a bad job of adjusting our scoreboard.
And the first pitch is hit to center, and Hoff can't get there as that's going to fall in for a first pitch single. And not the start Blatchford was looking for, but hopefully he can rebound, get a ground ball here.
Well, we know Rocky Mountain can hit. Over the course of the season, they batted well over 340, 20 home runs, scored 200 runs in 19 games.
That's very hard to do.
Over 10 runs a game. We know this team can score.
First pitch is down to Hammer. Hammer made that play to retire Clothier to end the first inning. He will dig in for his first step out of the game with Highland on first base after his single. Ball's taken low, and he's now in hitter's count. 2 balls, no strikes. I think if Blatchford gets ahead early and gets ahead of batters, I think he's going to have a better chance to make out. You can say that about anybody, but it's especially evident with Blatchford. Once he's ahead, he can really go to any pitch and gets hitters guessing most likely. So
I think he's more confident pitching ahead in the count, too. Cole's a smart guy. You say he's going to the Air Force Academy, and certainly as a baseball player, sometimes he thinks. You don't want to think, and sometimes he aims, and you want to be loose. You want to throw strikes. Got a very good defense behind him for high school baseball.
So after the leadoff single on the first pitch of the game, he has now thrown 3 straight balls and is behind to Hammer 3-0 and that pitch is in there, but Grandview's best hitter, John Sorensen, coming up, and you don't want to have him come up with an opportunity to take the lead.
No, Hammer this year, 321. He's got 12 extra base hits of his 25 hits, so that's a slugging percentage up there, around 500, probably higher. Slugging percentage around 700. He hammers this one into the gap in center.
And Cook is going to make the catch up against the wall.
Nice catch. That ball was swirling on him.
That wind is going to be a factor here for the outfielders. I don't think any ball we could say is routine today.
Hammer hit it really well.
Yeah, he hit that ball in the nose, but good read there by Cook. Good first step getting to that ball, getting to the wall, making the catch. And that'll bring up big left-handed hitter John Sorensen, who hit a .525 this season with 6 home runs and 37 RBIs.
Certainly one of the premier players in the state. He's also the top pitcher for Rocky Mountain.
So he takes ball 1 down. And especially with that win that we've just seen in the first inning of Mount Vista's 2 home runs that went out with a big lefty, if he gets a hold of one, you can almost guarantee that it's going to get out of this ballpark.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And now he's in a hitter's count, so good opportunity for the Lobos here with their big hitter up in a hitter's count. Cole Blatchford looking to battle back. And this ball is hit high, but not deep. Ireland calling in foul territory. And he's going to make a great catch as Sam Ireland. Again, that wind coming into factor. Looked like he was camped right under it, but at the last second had to jump back, make the catch. And that's going to be 2-away. It's a big out for Cole. And that's going to bring up the Lobos.
That's a huge out. If you can get a horse like this kid to pop up foul territory to first base, you're going to take it.
Definitely. So good pitching by Blatchford so far after the leadoff single, battling back from that 3-0 count and getting the Lobos big hitter to pop out. And the Lobos catcher, Jaden Unrick, coming up, the senior, 5'10", 170 pounds behind the dish. And he fouls this one straight back to the screen, and it's going to even the count at 1-1. Mount Vista's defense from outfield left to right is going to be John Chrissa, Zach Hoff, Dan Cook. Infield left to right is going to be Alessandro Aragon, Zach Paschke, Drew Stahl, Sam Ireland. Grant McGill will be behind the dish, putting the signs down for Cole Blatchford, who's on the mound today.
Sorensen had a big weekend yesterday. Big day yesterday, winning the opener and hitting a 2-run home run in the first game. I don't know why I'm talking about him. I apologize. We got a new kid up there.
We got Jordan Unrick up the dish, and he takes ball 3 inside.
The dish.
So Blatchford's going to have to battle back here again as he's behind in the count 3-1. Pitch is taken low, and that's going to be a walk. So the free pass given up.
Oh, man, this has been Cole Blatchford's problem all season long. I think he's walked 17, 18 batters in 6 games and 30 innings.
I think when he doesn't get ahead like we were talking about, he kind of panics and then tries to...
I mean, it's hard to say, but you want to try to avoid putting... I mean, it's such a cliche, but you really want to try to avoid putting guys on base. Runners at first and second here, but 2 outs, bottom of the first.
Swing and a miss there by Gendrew. Gendrew, the Lobos' first baseman. Senior at 6'1".
Well, my numbers were off, and I apologize to the Blatchford family. Cole, according to Max Preps, just 4 walks in 38 2/3 innings. So walk really unusual, and
Good pitch there by Cole.
he's got to feel pretty good so far, keeping Rocky Mountain off balance. That really hard hit by Hammer, but pitching with a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first and getting Sorensen.
And a great pitch, great frame there.
Oh, man, breaking ball strikeout. We're through 1 inning here at All City. The Mountain Vista Golden Eagles with a 2-0 lead on the Rocky Mountain Lobos.
Well, that also shows you how good Grant McGill is, because that pitch might have been a ball, half a ball, maybe a full ball outside. But Grant McGill, great receiving. The great catcher that he is, doing a great job there, framing, getting the call.
We want to remind you that we will be following the Golden Eagles all the way through the state tournament. They will play on Friday either at 10 a.m. or at 12:30 here at All City Field, depending on the result of this game against the Cherry Creek Bruins. Cherry Creek won a thriller in the first game,
It was a marathon.
13-12.
I believe that game was 3 hours and 25 minutes.
Something like that. Felt longer, frankly.
And Broomfield over Rock Canyon.
Right, Broomfield joining with a 5-2 win. Broomfield joining Mountain Vista and Rocky Mountain in the Final Four for the state baseball tournament. But lest you think that it's just baseball at Mountain Vista High School, make sure that you are making plans to be at Dick's Sporting Good Park on Wednesday night, 7:30, as Mountain Vista goes for their 4th state soccer title against the Arapahoe Warriors, their arch rival from up University Boulevard. Golden Eagles with a penalty shootout win over 2-time defending state champion Grandview on Saturday. As the number 3 seed in the tournament, they would probably be the favorite in that game. We are unable to broadcast that game due to contractual obligations with the National Federation of High School Network, but just come to the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeremy, I covered that game on a Saturday, and boy, was that exciting. Bailey Baker really coming up big for the Mountain Vista girls soccer team. Their goalie did a phenomenal job, but we're back to baseball as Alessandro digs in and takes strike 1.
Alessandra Aragon, sophomore, playing third base today.
Traditionally, they're right fielder, but Blatchford, their normal third baseman, as Alessandro rips a base hit to left field, but Blatchford, their normal third baseman, did come into pitch for them today, so Blatchford coming in from right field to play third.
This is what Aragon has done for the last couple of weeks. Hits the ball hard, hits it in the gap. I think most of his hits have been, line drives or ground balls, but he's really finding gaps. And that'll bring up Drew Stahl, sophomore second baseman. Turned a couple of huge double plays yesterday to get the Golden Eagles here.
And one thing that Drew did that's underlooked on paper, but Drew had 2 very, very selfless sacrifice bunts to help Mountain Vista get some guys in scoring position that allowed them to score. So they really rely on Drew to play that selfless baseball, and he fills that role perfectly.
Kind of an old school baseball player, likes to get his uniform dirty, doesn't mind being a little bit of a bulldog, doesn't mind being a little scrappy, but he gets himself on base. And as a second baseman, he and Zach Paschke, probably the best double play combo in the state of Colorado
I
right
definitely
now.
think that's probably the best middle if in the Continental League, if not in the state of Colorado.
Yeah.
As he takes in the dirt, Alessandro gets a... And Alessandro Aragon is going to be thrown out stealing, as tried to read that down angle, but a great throw by... Great throw there by Unrick.
Terrible jump, though.
Yeah.
Unrick dug that ball out of the dirt much faster, I think, than Aragon anticipated, and then Aragon, he was out by about 4 steps to go. Unfortunate. I mean, you understand with the ball in the dirt that you want to go, but unfortunate there, especially with Stahl grounding it down to third here. Maybe stayed out of a double play.
Hammer making the play there for the Lobos, and that's going to be 2 outs. Bringing up right fielder Dan Cook, the senior. Mountain Vista in today's lineup only has 4 seniors, I apologize, in their batting order. They have John Crissa, the left fielder, Cole Blatchford, the pitcher, Alex Clothier, the DH, and Dan Cook, the right fielder, as Dan takes low for ball 1.
I don't know a lot about Dan Cook.
Dan's a good player. He'll give you exactly what you look for. If you call for him to bunt, he'll do it. He'll get the job done majority of the time. I think he's a good guy to round up the lineup at the 9 hole. I think he does a good job, fills his role there as he grounds this one to short. Sorensen's going to throw to first, and they just get Dan for out number 3. So quick inning there for Trey Wagner after the rough first inning, so a good bounce back inning from him. And Cole Blatchford will head back to the mound.
Mountain Vista with a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Second game here at All City Stadium. Appreciate the support of the Colorado High School Activities Association. Thousands of athletes, hundreds of sports in this spring sports season. Seems like it's been going and going and going and going, and perhaps it has, but certainly a wonderful event this weekend at the Jefferson County Public School Stadium with the state track and field meet and the state baseball tournament. 5 classifications and something like 5 different locations in the state, all playing right now as the spring season winds up. You'll notice on our television or computer monitor that the lights have come on here at All City Field. We're all keeping a little bit of an eye on the weather as there's definitely rain surrounding us. We'll see if the camera can show you a little bit of the rainy sky or the menacing sky. There's a little menacing sky. Very menacing over here to the southeast.
And we are here in the bottom of the second, I apologize, as sophomore Cade Nelson steps in, the big lefty. And he's going to foul the first one back over our heads here in the booth.
I'll tell you what, Cole's got pretty nice movement across the strike zone with his pitches right now. Rocky Mountain swinging hard, but not making great contact.
That ball's ripped down the line foul, but foul by a good margin.
Quick 2 strikes.
I definitely agree with you. I think Blatch is definitely not showing that he's not afraid to work inside, outside, high, or low today. So time is called. Cade's going to try and, I
think the ball didn't get collected. It's sitting down in the left field corner. Blatchford's also getting late movement late movement being a relative term. He's not, Pedro Martinez.
Yeah.
But where the Rocky Mountain guys are swinging and anticipating the ball is going to be that last third of the strike zone. It's not necessarily been there.
0-2 is fouled. Look out on deck. That's Brady Morris nearly getting hit by that foul ball.
Decent crowd here, although everybody's huddled in their blankets and their umbrellas.
Ball's ripped to center. Hoff got a good beat on it, and he's going to make the catch. Just short of the warning track, so another ball hit right on the nose, but Mount Vista outfielders right there. I think this outfield definitely has the speed that they need for this big all-city outfield. This is a big outfield, especially for high schoolers. Don't you agree, Jeremy?
Well, it's probably not particularly unusual. The thing I was going to say, being slightly snarky, big surprise, is that Mountain Vista used to playing in the wind.
Definitely.
Used to tracking balls that are going to move bizarrely with the Mountain Vista baseball field being built at the very top of a mountain.
Ooh, and that pitch is going to hit Morris, and he'll get a free pass.
Now, Morris wears that ankle guard because he strides into the ball, but certainly the worst pitch we've seen from Cole Blatchford today. Puts an unnecessary runner at first base.
Trying to go inside, just ran in a little too much inside as that ball got a piece of Morris, and first base coach will put his arm around that left shoulder and make sure he's all right. He'll take a walk.
Yeah, and he only threw it 58 feet. It never works.
So as we give Morris a minute, Trenton Medrano is going to step in.
Still 2-0 Mountain Vista here in the bottom of the second inning.
But Rocky Mountain does have a base runner on with 1 out. And we'll see if they maybe go to bunt or if they're going to let their 8-hole hit here. The senior stands in at 6 feet, 185 pounds. Has those hands way up high to start his stance, and he's going to take a little outside for ball 1.
Mountain Vista fans probably not as familiar with these Rocky Mountain Lobos.
And there he goes, as Blatchford threw from the windup. I don't know what Blatchford was thinking there, just not in the game mentally, I guess. But
you don't think that was an intentional quick pitch?
I don't, because he was going from the full there, Jeremy.
Yeah, I clearly wasn't paying attention.
But
good head, got caught off guard by the runner going, too.
Good heads up there by Morris to catch that and take off and get a stolen base, get a guy in scoring position for the Lobos. So we'll see if they can capitalize on that. This ball's hit high, deep to left center field. Krissa and Hoff communicating. Hoff is going to call it, make the catch. Tagging and moving to third is Morris, and he will get there safely. However, Blatchford gets the second out of his inning. It's a good job there by Zach Hoff. Ball in the gap, deep. Knowing he's in center field, he has authority. Calls Chris off, makes the catch, and another good job by Morris. Good base running there as he moved up on that fly ball to deep
Pretty
left center.
catchable baseball. Sounded louder than it was.
As Tyler Mataloid is going to take inside for ball one. Pitches in there for strike two. Good throw from Blatchford. Tyler stands in at 5'6", 130 pounds, so a little bit smaller of a baseball player, but he can still make it happen. This ball's smashed. Just out of the reach of diving junior Zach Paschke at short. And the Lobos are on the board with the RBI single there from Mataloid. It's a good piece of hitting there by Tyler with 2 outs to get that run in, don't you think?
Yeah. Not a bad pitch from Cole Blatchford, but a nice smash. Looked for a second like Zach Paschke might get there, but was not to be.
And that'll bring up leadoff hitter Tyler Highland. Last time up, he got a base hit to right field. He smashes one down the line off of the glove of Alessandro Aragon. It didn't look like Alessandro had much of a chance, and Chris is going to pick it up. Throw into third is going to be late. So just out of the reach again from a Mountain Vista diving defenseman, but that's going to put 2 runners on in scoring position with 2 outs, so back-to-back hits by the Lobos.
And Rocky Mountain traditionally is a very aggressive baseball team. They're not waiting for you to make a mistake. They want to force you to make a mistake. And there you see Highland. First pitch he sees looks like it's hittable. Hits it as hard as he can down that left field line.
So he's got a single and a double. And pitching coach Max Pavel will come out for the Golden Eagles.
Runners at second and third, but still 2 outs. Very, very doable for the Golden Eagles to get out of this one with a 1-run lead in the second inning.
I think they might be just giving Cole Blatchford a breather. I don't think he's pitching bad, but, with 2 straight hits, they got to slow the game down a little bit as Kalen Hammer coming up, the 5'9" senior, who flew out deep to the warning track as Dan Cook made the catch on the warning track. So Mountain Vista hoping they can get out of this with just a little bit of damage done. Coach Pav will head off the mound as the infield departs as well.
A little bit of sun peeking through the clouds here.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Oh, man.
That wind's still blowing very hard, though, out to right field. Blatchford going to go in the full windup. The leg kick and the delivery is smashed, and that's going to be a base hit to left field. They're going to hold Highland at third, so there will be runners on the corners with 2 outs. However, the Lobos have tied this game on the RBI single by Kalen Hammer.
Really nice piece of defense, though, by John Christa to get that ball really quickly. Because with 2 outs, runner coming from second base, you'd anticipate that he would score.
So Highland only moving up to third there. However, Mataloid scoring on that RBI single.
Another first pitch swing, though, right, Hunter?
Yes, it is. That is 3 straight hits, 2 of which have been on the first pitch. And Kalen Hammer has hit 2 balls very hard against Cole Blatchford. That ball to the warning track and that base hit to left field. Blatchford's pitch is taken outside for ball 1. So Blatchford hoping to get out of this inning and get Mountain Vista's bats back up there. Hopefully they can tie this ball game up.
We are tied up.
I apologize. Hopefully Mountain Vista can break the tie. As that pitch is taken low for ball 2.
That's a very similar pitch to the one he got on the strikeout to end the first inning.
Keep an eye on Kalen Hammer there first. Looks like he's got some speed. And that pitch is in there for strike 1. Ball is grounded. Drew Stahl going to get the high hop. Throw to first. And that's going to retire the side. However, Rocky Mountain comes back. Scores 2 on 3 straight hits by Tyler Mataloid, Tyler Highland, and Kalen Hammer. I apologize. But the Lobos are going to strand runners on the corners, and Mountain Vista is coming back up to hopefully get some of those runs back, so stay with us.
I ran a terrible camera work just there. Sorry about that, viewers. You missed Drew with a pretty nice play. Drew Stahl, the second baseman for Mountain Vista, with a pretty nice play on a ball that he could have been distracted by the runner coming right in front of him, stayed in front of it, got the out. One of my baseball buddies, former coach of Mountain Vista, in fact, used to say that one of the statistics that you can really keep an eye on is runners left in scoring position.
I
And
definitely
if you
agree.
leave more runners in scoring position than you score runs, I mean, this sounds like it's obvious, but it's an interesting way to look at how a team executes. More runners left in scoring position than you score runs, or even runners just left on base, you're going to lose the game. You need to not leave guys out there. And for Rocky Mountain, a much better second inning than the first inning. Obviously, they scored a couple of runs, but they got both those runs with 2 outs and left runners out there. And you wonder whether or not that either gives Cole Blatchford, the pitcher for Mountain Vista, some confidence, or whether or not it leaves him a little bit shaky
I think
as we progress.
sorry to cut you off. I think one thing the Mountain Vista pitchers have done a great job this year is the innings they do give up runs, they come back the next inning and it doesn't show to still be affecting them. They put it behind them quickly, are able to continue to get outs as Mountain Vista will have the top of the lineup due here in the top of the 3rd inning. Junior Zach Paschke is going to lead us off. Digs in
This guy's had a really good year.
as he drives this one to right center field. Ball's given a ride, getting a carry in the wind. However, right fielder Trenton Madrano is going to make the catch for the first out. Zach Paschke gone after the first pitch both times he's been up. Not traditionally his style. Usually likes to see a couple pitches, but trying to stay aggressive, and he's going to fly out to right field both times. So I'm going to bring up John Crissa. John Crissa popped out to the second baseman his last time up. Digs in. Pitch. Taken for strike 1.
Chris is a junior or senior?
Chris is a senior this year.
Played football as well. Fast.
Very fast. He is a threat on the base passes. He takes strike 2. One thing, he is a little bit underlooked because if you haven't seen Zach Paschke run, let me just tell you, he has potentially one of the fastest base runners in the state of Colorado, but Chris also shows off that speed in the 2-hole for Mountain Vista.
Walters, Wagner, the pitcher?
Trey
Wagner,
Wagner.
pitcher for Mountain Vista, staying away to these Mountain Vista lefties. He's going to come outside again here, and he's just not locating those outside pitches.
Chris takes that one outside for to even up the count of 2-2, but
And maybe they know something about Crissa in terms of the way that he drops his shoulder, whether he's a straight pull guy. Here's a ground ball to second. That time it was the right spot.
Matt Lloyd waits for his high hop, makes the throw to first, and that'll bring up Cole Blatchford. Last time Blatchford came up with 2 outs, Jeremy, we know what happened. Took the ball deep to right field, and it ended up getting out for a solo shot.
Cole's 8th home run of the season, 21 runs batted in. He leads Mountain Vista in home runs.
I think that another thing Mountain Vista is going to have to do is they're going to have to get those guys in front of Blatchford, Paschke, and Crissa, I apologize. They're going to have to get them on base.
Yeah, for both Sam Ireland and Cole, you want to give them some RBI opportunities. But that's been Mountain Vista's MO all year long. Those two, not bad hitters at all, but they haven't necessarily, his team just doesn't score a lot of runs, and they haven't been frequently trafficking on the base.
Ball smashed in between hop there. Tough play, but Sorensen's going to make it, and that'll retire the side. Mountain Vista goes down in order. So a fly out and 2 ground outs, and a good inning there for Wagner. Good shutdown inning after his team scored 2, and the Lobos are going to come back up. Blatchford coming back out. Stay with us as the Golden Eagles come out for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jeremy, what have we seen so far that might be giving a team an edge over the other one so far here?
It's really hard. It's really hard to say. Neither team has made a mistake in terms of defense. Some good defense by Mountain Vista in the outfield, and certainly some good defense by Rocky Mountain on the infield. Aragon with the 1 base running error when he got a mediocre jump and didn't take advantage of a ball in the dirt. Both pitchers have been able to command the ball where they want to. We've only seen the 1 strikeout in the game. They look like 2 very evenly matched teams halfway through this ball game.
I think this could be a good one for us.
Absolutely, and these aren't 2 teams that make a lot of mistakes. 2 of the 4 best teams in the state of Colorado. These 2 teams know they're playing into next weekend, so we're seeing the cream of the crop, so to speak, here as we get ready in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Rocky Mountain Lobos, 5 state championships in the last 14 years. Wrap your mind around that. Give me the last 12 years.
How about this, Jeremy? They won 4 years in a row, 2006, 7, 8, and 9.
And that both of those teams, the 6 and 7 teams, probably the 2 best baseball teams I've ever seen in my life as high school baseball.
Senior Jordan Unrick takes ball 1, up and in there.
Andy Burns, Brian Peters, Marco Gonzalez, just a very, very gifted crew of players there. Came up and I think Marco won 4 state titles together. Last I saw, he was in the St. Louis Cardinals organization, maybe on the big league roster.
Unrick is going to ground one. Paschke going to have to come in. He makes a play, throws on the run, and he's going to get him. Good play there by Zach Paschke.
That ball took a funny bounce. I thought it nicked the grass of the pitcher's mound, maybe.
Might have got a little piece of that mound, however, not seeming to bother Zach Paschke as he makes a good play.
You know, one of the nice things about this baseball season having been finally perhaps passing the poor weather is that these teams are in the zone. They're loose. They're used to playing every day. It's so hard when the weather slows you down as a baseball player. Baseball's a game of repetition. It's a game of routine. It's a game of anticipation, understanding what the ball's going to do, and you just can't replicate that doing ground ball drills in the gymnasium.
2 curveballs. Second one is hit into right field for a base hit there. After a good one, Blatchford threw in the first pitch. Tried to go back to it, but Gendrew picked him up. Smashes a base hit to right field, and with 1 out, Rocky Mountain has their 5-hole standing on first base with 6-hole coming up. Cade Nelson, the DH, sophomore. Last time up, he flew out to center field. And he smashes one high in the air. Fairly deep left field, but Chris is under it. And Chris is going to make the catch, forcing Gendrew to scurry back to first base. That'll be the 2nd out of the inning.
Blatchford working pretty quickly, and I was going to say that the batter Nelson there with a pretty open stance, that if Blatchford can keep the ball down and away, he was going to get a pop out. Of course, that's obviously what you think I was going to say, since that's what happened, so you just have to take my word for it.
Brady Morris, left fielder, stepping in. He takes a strike from Cole Blatchford.
Morris was the hero, perhaps, yesterday with a 2-run home run to even the game for the Lobos, a game they would end up winning against Cherry Creek yesterday afternoon.
And his first time up, he was hit in the leg and then took advantage of Cole Blatchford coming out of the full windup.
Morris on the season batting just over 300, 17 runs scored. Not much of a power threat.
Pitch is just outside. Blatchford shakes off Grant, says yes to the second sign. 2-1 delivery. Blatchford waits. Pitch. And time was called by batter Brady Morris, so no pitch there. Blatchford just holding that ball a little bit too long for Morris's liking, so he calls time. Taking his lead at first is Gendrew. Pitch. It's taken. Hits the outside corner for strike 2.
When Cole Blatchford locates that pitch down and away to right-handers or even the lefties, that's a very difficult pitch for batters to deal with. Comes across them, down in the zone. He threw it again. This time gets popped up.
Ireland is going to call for it in foul territory. And again, battling that wind is going to make the catch. Not routine, but Ireland's going to make the play, and that's going to end the 3rd inning as we head to the 4th, tied at 2.
Really nice pitching from Cole Blatchford there. He located those pitches down in the zone, taking advantage of the Rocky Mountain players' aggressiveness to get a couple of pop-outs and a couple of really routine outs. We go to the 4th inning. Want to talk to you for just a little bit about soccer. The Mountain Vista Golden Eagles square off against the Arapahoe Warriors on Wednesday night at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in the 5A state championship game. Mountain Vista returning to the state championship game. They lost last year to Grandview 2-1 and hoping to add a 4th title to the ones they got in 2005, 10, and 13. Also this weekend, how about Mountain Vista alumnum? Mountain Vista graduate Mallory Pugh making her National Women's Soccer League debut for the Washington Spirit at the age of 19. A year ago, Mal was getting ready to play on the bench and cheer her friends and teammates on as Mountain Vista tried for a state title. 1 year later, she's a professional soccer player.
How about that?
Gatorade Gatorade High School Athlete of the Year for 2016. Went to UCLA. Never played for the Bruins because of her commitments to the U.S. national team, and now she's a professional.
Sam Ireland digs in with his open stance. Took a ball to deep right last time, but this one's going to be grounded. However, it's a foul ball.
Well, Wagner completely fooled Sam Ireland there. Sam was thinking fastball, and it was a changeup in at his hands. Lucky to fight it off, and more luckier, in fact, that it wasn't an out.
And he isn't fooled by that one, but it's a smash. Nice play there. Scooped up and thrown by Hammer. That ball was hit very hard, right on the nose. That's why they call third base the hot corner.
Nice play. That's all you have to say. Really nice play.
Sophomore Grant McGill stepping in. Grant again with that big two-run home run yesterday. He reached on an error from the shortstop his last time up. And he's going to smash the first pitch to dead center. Moving back on it and making the catch is Highland, and that'll be 2 quick outs. Trey Wagner is getting very, very quick outs here, huh, Jeremy?
Yeah, both teams, it's like both these teams have dinner reservations or something. They want to get this game over with quickly.
Well, I think after having to wait 3 hours and 25 minutes, they're both very eager to just play.
Well, now that they only had to wait an hour and 40 minutes. Don't over-exaggerate.
Alex Clothier takes the ball high. Off-speed pitch, just didn't catch the zone there. Alex, the designated hitter for Mountain Vista today.
In terms of sheer power, Clothier might be the most dangerous hitter on the Mountain Vista team.
Yeah, Alex Clothier often drives the ball when he hits it, and he takes outside. 3 balls, no strikes. They're trying to pitch away to Clothier and trying to bring him up a little bit, up and away, but Wagner just missing to Clothier. So Alex in a 3-0 count and see if he gets a green light. He takes a strike on the outside corner.
If you say so.
Might have been the same pitch 2 pitches ago there, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And Alex smashes this one to left, falling quickly, but right there to make the catch is Brady Morris. And a very quick inning for Trey Wagner. So we remain at 2-2 here going into the bottom of the 4th inning. And we can continue to talk about soccer as...
Well, I want to talk baseball for a second since we're in baseball. Not surprisingly, both of these teams are settling in. Mountain Vista got the 2 home runs in the first inning. Rocky Mountain answered in the bottom of the 2nd inning. But here we are now as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, and both pitchers working efficiently, working with speed, working the parts. You get the sense that this is not going to be a 13-12 baseball game.
I definitely don't think it is. Well, this is where, in the order, the Lobos got their runs last time. Brady Morris was the last out of this inning, but Trenton Madrano, Tyler Metalloyd, and Tyler Highland all helped get those runs in, and Kalen Hammer due up 4th this inning.
Yeah, turning around the bottom of the order. Interesting that Blatchford's done pretty well against the very dangerous heart of this Rocky Mountain Lobo order, but those 7, 8, 9 hitters, Morris, Madrano, and Metalloyd, all really getting on base, scoring runs. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. I'm Jeremy Goldson, joined by Hunter Worley, your play-by-play guy. This is VistaNow, the home of Mountain Vista Sports.
First pitch is hit to right field. Dan Cook gets a good beat on it, and 1 pitch, 1 out for Cole Blatchford. Both of these pitchers are working very quick, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's we're so used, for people who are so used to watching professional baseball where the batters take forever in between pitches. Just doesn't happen in high school. These guys get in the plate, get in the box and go. Another loud but fairly easy, manageable out for the Golden Eagles.
And another smash to center. Hoff gets a good beat on it, checks for the fence, and this ball is going to go off the wall. Ball short hopped the fence there, and that's going to be a 1-out double for Tyler Metalloyd. Tyler Metalloyd, the junior, stands in at only 5'6" and 130 pounds, so not a very big guy, but he gets on base for guys like Kalen Hammer and John Sorensen.
Pounded that ball, and with the wind blowing in a little bit, I think that Zach got caught a little bit off guard, played him perhaps a little bit closer than he needed to. Lobos with a man in scoring position with 1 out can take the lead here in the 4th inning.
Tyler Highland with a double and a single. Single came in his first at-bat, double in his second at-bat, and he steps in with a runner in scoring position. Only 1 out for the Lobos.
Did you say Highland's 2 for 2?
I did. However, he has been stranded both times he's been on base. This pitch is fouled off. The 6'1" senior stands in at 185 pounds. Bat on his shoulder, he lifts it up, swings it back and forth as he waits for Blatchford, checks the runner at second, the leg kick, the delivery. Taken in there for strike 2. Wind looks to be dying down a little bit. Still blowing out to right, but not as much.
It looks like we might have avoided the thrust of that storm. There were some hints that it was going to float. Not that a storm floats. It's still pretty gusty, but there were hints that the rain was going to move over us. We seem to have avoided it for the time being.
That changeup appeared to be by Blatchford was taken low, and a fastball is taken low, and that'll make it a full count. I apologize. So the runner in scoring position and a full count. Let's see what Tyler Highland can do. And he smashes one to left. Looks playable for Chrissy. He's coming in. He's going to slide and make a great catch. John Chrissy saving a run there for the Golden Eagles is a phenomenal play there by John Chrissy. Got a good first step. Got to it. Diving across his body. That's a tough play to make.
That is a baseball team playing with confidence. I mean, it just is, because that is a really hard play to make. A huge out in terms of trying to keep the Lobos off the board here in the fourth inning, and Chrissa does a nice job there. I don't think our fans saw it because he slid right behind a pole, but you just have to believe us when we say that it was a really nice catch.
Now stepping in is Kalen Hammer, and he takes strike one. Good curveball there, keeping the hitter off balance by Cole Blatchford. The senior is 1 for 2 with this RBI single in the second inning. So Kalen Hammer responsible for one of the Lobos' runs here today. And Blatchford's going to leg kick and check on the runner at second. However, scurrying back is Metalloyd as he gets back safely. Drew Stahl keeping him close.
You can see him. He's the gray blob at the top of your screen.
Slides off the bag. Blatchford's pitch is taken outside. Ball went a little wide. Good job by Grant McGill to keep it in front of him. Reaching across his body. Good catch there. Keeping the runner at second. There's a big backstop today, so pass balls may come into factor.
Yeah, and pretty far from catcher all the way back to the fence.
I'm not sure about the Lobos catcher, but I know the Mountain Vista's catcher, Grant McGill, is most often a wall back there, so it's pretty rare if a ball gets by him, so that's a good sign for Mountain Vista, hopefully.
Yeah, McGill, just a sophomore, grown in confidence. He's been pretty good this season.
Had a great freshman year on varsity, and then came back this year and had an even better year, so we'll see what Blatchford can do. And the 1-2 to Hammer. He's taken in the dirt. That's a good 1-2 pitch there by Blatchford.
Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit, but Coach Ron Quintana and the Mountain Vista baseball team's got to be really thrilled with the prospects. 6 sophomores in their starting 9? 5?
Today in the field, Jeremy, we have...
Ball missed outside.
We have 5 sophomore starters in their starting 9 in the field. Sophomore Sam Ireland, the first baseman, was jogging off the field, and I don't blame him. That pitch was very close, but instead it's going to be a full count. And even though there's no one behind him, Tyler Metalloyd, the 9-hole, has some speed, so we'll see if he takes off for third.
Probably.
I would not be surprised. He does not, and the 3-2's popped up. Dan Cook calling for it, puts his hands in the air. 2 hands, and he's going to make the catch. And Cole Blatchford with another scoreless inning. The Lobos threaten, but they cannot capitalize, and we will head to the 5th inning.
Yeah, pitched his way out of trouble. Nice job again from Cole. Be interesting to see at this point what the pitch count is on him, as there are pitch count limits in high school for Colorado baseball, but through 4, there's no way he's thrown more than 60 pitches.
I definitely don't think so. Due up for the Mount Vista Golden Eagles is their 7, 8, 9-hole Alessandro Aragon, Drew Stahl, and Dan Cook.
Thought you were going to say that it was a 6'7" player, and I was thinking, did they just add Jake Belknap to the roster? I mean, I'm trying to think who else in the school is 6'7". We talked about the 5 sophomores. Rocky Mountain, different. This is a team that
very different,
that builds players, gets players into the feeder program at Rocky Mountain as young as the 4th, or 5th, or 6th grade, and you really see a team that consistently brings up juniors and seniors again and again. We talked to Coach Scott Bullock before the ball game. He said that this team won the state championship 4 years ago, and there was one guy on the roster now playing here as a senior who played as a freshman 4 years ago. Just experience up and down.
That was the shortstop, John Sorensen, and in the Lobos batting order, they have 7 seniors, 1 junior, and 1 sophomore. So how about that?
Yeah, very different 2 teams. And it's not to say that Rocky Mountain isn't going to be good next year. They seem to be good every single year, but Mountain Vista fans also with a lot of hope as these sophomores age. I mean, remember, those of you watching on television, most of the Mountain Vista batting order just got their driver's license.
That's a good way to put it, Jeremy. I've never thought about it like that. It's Alessandro Aragon takes strike one. That'll even the count at 1-1. Seen 2 curveballs this at bat.
Well, I threw him fastball last time, and he hit it right between the gap between third and short. So trying to see if Alessandro can hit the breaking ball. He does it again.
He hits the breaking ball in the same spot he got that first single in the second inning, right in that 5.5 hole, right between the third baseman and the shortstop.
Who does he think he is, Tony Gwynn?
As Drew Stahl is going to stand in, and like we said last time, Drew with that selfless ball that he's known for really helps the team get guys in scoring position and capitalize. And here in the 5th inning, we're getting into the later innings. Remember, high school is only 7, not 9 like the pros. So we're getting into the last couple innings as Drew already scoring the bunt.
And you
pulls
can
back
see
and takes a curveball for strike one.
Yeah, the third baseman, Cody Hammer, definitely anticipating that Stahl might put a bunt down.
That is Kalen Hammer.
Kalen Hammer, excuse me. But they're playing him straight away at second and at first base.
Bunts it foul, so Drew Stahl will be in an 0-2 count. Will most likely give up on that bunt and try and hit.
That's what Hammer's anticipating, but he's still keeping his feet at the very front of the grass. Now he backs up into a more traditional double play depth. Drew, a tough guy to double up because of his speed up the baseline, but you'd hate to see it.
Drew calls for time. It looked like he was going to square away there, but pitcher not quick enough for Drew, so he calls time. Alessandro Aragon with some speed at second, so a ball in the gap. Alessandro will definitely get to third, maybe even. Drew's going to squirt a bunt, and he bunts it, and it's going to stay fair. That's a great bunt in between. The pitcher and the first baseman, however, good play there by Trey Wagner to get it to Drew.
It looked for a second like Wagner had a chance to catch that ball, but it died in the grass. Drew hustling his way up the line, but puts Aragon at second base, and with 1 out, Mountain Vista can take the lead here in the top of the 5th.
And I was hoping that ball would not would stay fair there, Jeremy. I didn't know. I couldn't really tell from here up in the booth. Dan Cook stepping in as the home plate umpire. Isn't even backed up in his position, so they will call time and reset. Again, like I said, Alessandro Aragon with good speed at second. A base hit would most likely score him, especially to the right side. We haven't seen the Lobos outfielder's arm, so we will see that. Cook takes inside for ball 1.
And Dan scuffled a little bit at the plate this season. It hasn't, batting average isn't necessarily as high as he would like it to be. Invaluable defensively, and maybe a guy who as we get deeper and deeper into the state tournament.
Apologize to cut you off there, Jeremy. Lobos try back pick Alessandro.
So when you say back pick, it's because the shortstop, if you can see him here, is behind Aragon, trying to stay out of his eyesight and then swerve back around to the bag as the pitcher turns and throws to second base. Cook pops this one up.
Catcher, Unrick calling for it, and he makes the catch. I don't know if that's necessarily traditionally the catcher's ball, but nonetheless, Unrick is going to make the catch, and Zach Paschke, who is 0 for 2, is going to have to come up with a big hit for the Golden Eagles with the runner in scoring position. Zach Paschke has seen 2 pitches today and flew out twice to the center fielder. So hopefully Zach can maybe see some pitches here and drive a ball into the gap, or just get a traditional base hit and score Alessandro. Alessandro will be running with on contact since there are 2 outs. No risk of getting doubled up.
One from second base especially.
And Paschke takes the first one.
Really nice pitch from Wagner. It looks like it's going to stay inside, but at the last minute, it breaks back across the zone, and it was high. Not the sort of pitch that Paschke's likely to swing at.
Especially in an 0-0 count, not likely to go after that one. 0-1. Paschke scores the bunt. He gets it down.
Oh, he's got a chance.
This could be a bunt for a single. And he is going to be safe at first base, and a bunt single. Zach Paschke drag bunts, and Kalen Hammer can't make the play at third. That just shows you how fast Zach is, like I was telling you early, Jeremy.
You had called it exactly. He flew up the line, and Hammer was in pretty good position to get that ball. It died in the grass a little bit. Not a surprise with the grass having grown out a little bit here at All City and a lot of rain. And I think that confused Hammer. He thought it was going to end up a little bit closer to him. But then he looks up, and Paschke zooming down the line. A really good throw, but he wasn't going to get him.
Hammer didn't even hesitate. He didn't even pump fake. He got a great grip on the ball, came through it, did everything right. Zach just that fast. Chris is going to step in with runners on the corners, and a fake to third. Looked like it might have been a balk, but no call by the umpire. So runners on the corners, and Mount Vista often puts on some plays here and threatens, and Zach Paschke will take his lead. He won't go on this pitch as Chrisa takes high.
Yeah, how much of a threat to steal is Paschke?
Definitely. In fact, maybe if we can get our camera to zoom out a little bit, you guys can keep an eye on Zach. There he is over at first, that little black dot. You can see him on the right side of your screen. Keep an eye on him. He takes his secondary, doesn't go again, and that's 2-0. And one thing that Krissa must like is he must get himself in some good hitters counts because pitchers really worry about Zach on the base paths. So Zach, not far off the bag, takes a couple of shuffles, and they're going to throw over to third, but he fakes it.
The wind has picked up again and is blowing out to right. You can see how close the left fielder is. He's about halfway between the shortstop and the fence here. Krissa probably not a threat to go the other way, and there he goes, hits it the other way.
Throws the second, is wide, and he's going to call him out. Paschke looking at the umpire, and I believe Mountain Vista might argue this one, and out comes head coach Ron Quintana. It looked like, I guess the umpire saw him keep his foot on the bag, but that throw by the shortstop, Sorensen, took Matalloyd to his left.
Well, Quintana just turned around. Wasn't even going to have a conversation with the umpire.
Paschke visibly upset, but I don't know about that call. We can't see it from up here, obviously, but he said he kept his foot on the bag. Looked like Matalloyd pulled his foot. That would have given Mountain Vista the lead.
Pretty nice play by the second baseman in the end.
Very athletic play by Matalloyd, nonetheless. As we will head to the bottom of the fifth inning, due up for the Lobos is John Sorensen, who made that last out, Jaden Unrick, the catcher, and Spencer Grandview, the first baseman.
Wagner pitched himself out of trouble there.
Definitely did. Great job by Wagner as Blatchford comes back out to hopefully match that 0. Got a good little playoff pitcher's duel, don't we, Jeremy?
Well, and this is interesting. You talked about this earlier. 2 of the 3 starters, and we talked about this on the podcast earlier. To win the state baseball tournament, knowing that you have to play 3 games in 2 days over potentially 2 consecutive weekends, it's all about your depth in pitching. Wagner's certainly showing that he belongs. Cole Blatchford, we knew all along belonged. And a completely different game than the 13-12 slugfest that we saw earlier between Cherry Creek and Legend, and a nice. Both pitchers commanding the zone pretty well, not making a lot of mistakes. We've seen fly balls that are catchable and ground balls that are catchable. The 2 big home runs from Mountain Vista sort of sticking out as anomalies right now at this point in the game.
So that big power hitter coming up for the Lobos there, 3-hole John Sorensen, who had 6 RBIs, 6 home runs, 37 RBIs. Pardon me.
Interesting, Sorensen plays shortstop, so he's a right-hander in the field, but he's a lefty on the mound, at the plate.
You don't see many guys like that. One that I can think of off the top of my head is, of course, Brandon Crawford. Count is 1-1, but that is hard to do.
Well, maybe he's a switch hitter. We haven't seen him against a lefty today.
That is also a possibility. Third pitch of the at-bat is fouled off, and it'll be 1-2.
Of course, the greatest hitter of all time, the famous Ted Williams, batted lefty and hit righty.
Taken outside, 2-2. But it's also good to have Sorensen up with nobody on base, because if he does do damage, it is going to just be 1 run that he does if he does hit that home run that he is so capable of hitting. Pitch is outside. It's going to be full count now to Sorensen.
He's thrown him nothing but breaking stuff away.
Well, with a power hitter like him, I don't think you want to throw him hard stuff inside, because he will take that ball on the I-25 there in right field.
That time, Cole Blatchford throws a fastball away. Sorensen right on top of it, but it was a little bit out of the zone, and he was only able to foul it back. Wind is now swirling a little bit, blowing in from left to right.
Great curveball there. Big breaking ball by Cole Blatchford to get Sorensen looking. Sorensen knew it. Started heading right back to the dugout. Not much he can do. Just got to tip your cap. That's a great pitch by Cole Blatchford.
Who knew that pitch was coming? He'd thrown everything away, and then it comes back with a traditional, 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock curveball. Fantastic piece of pitching. This one's hammered into left. Chris is going to have to take it up against the wall. Turning his way into second.
Unrick there, driving that ball. I apologize, I was writing in the
it's fine.
scorebook.
That's why there are 2 of us here. Interesting that Cole Blatchford got the toughest hitter with a curveball, comes back with a fastball, and it stayed about belt high. Unrick turned on it, 2-hopped it. Krista came over and cut it off to prevent it from being even worse, but now with a runner on second, just one out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, he did get that big out in Sorensen, but Unrick saying, don't forget about me, I still hit 4-hole, so. And the first pitch is grounded. This is going to go foul. Looked like it would stay fair for a moment, but Ball's going to hit a lip and kick foul as Gendrew, the 6'1 senior first baseman, is going to stand in. He also bats left-handed, so Cole Blatchford having to deal with some lefties this inning.
It looked like that ball had gone off of the catcher McGill, but it took a funny bounce off the outer edge of the home plate.
McGill set up outside, and Cole's going to hit his spot, but it's just a little bit too far outside for ball one.
Mountain Vista, Rocky Mountain, two of the 4 teams that will be playing next weekend in the state tournament right back here at All City Field in Denver.
The 1-1 pitch. Looks like Blatchford held on to that one for a little bit longer than he usually does. Maybe didn't get that release point just right, and it's going to be inside for ball 2.
Right now, with this game being pretty close here in the bottom of the 5th, neither team has anything going in the bullpen. It's Cole Blatchford and Trey Wagner for a little while longer.
Swinging a foul ball there by Gendrew. I definitely agree. I think both pitchers' pitch counts are down, and they're getting good quick outs. They're staying efficient.
Yeah, the limit is 110 pitches, I believe.
Yeah, I believe we will be seeing both starters for the majority of the game, if not the entire game today here, Jeremy.
Golden Eagles got 2 runs in the top of the 1st. Rocky Mountain answered with 2 in the bottom of the 2nd. It's been scoreless since then.
Pitch taken just outside from Cole Blatchford. Mount Vista's dugout hollering, but they cannot see the inside-outside.
Yeah, I don't think that pitch was as close as they'd hoped it was, and it was definitely down and out of the zone. Great location against this lefty.
3-2, leg kick. Smashed. Foul ball down the right field line. Mount Vista catches a break there. That definitely would have gotten the run in, and depending on Gendrew's speed, he would have maybe gotten the third on that. So we will reset and do the 3-2 pitch once again. Unrick running from second. The catchers don't traditionally have the best of speed, so we'll see what the situation is with
traditionally,
Gendrew.
They're all 16 and 17, 18-year-olds. Who knows?
Pitch taken inside, and that's going to be a walk. So a force out now. Cole Blatchford can hope for a ground ball double play here as Cade Nelson, the sophomore designated hitter, steps in. Has flown out to center field and left field, so if Blatchford's going to want to get that ground ball, he's going to have to make a great pitch because he hasn't been making good pitches today to Nelson, but he's gotten underneath him and flown, gotten some fly balls from him. So, and a ground ball there. Ireland, Paschke on to Blatchford at first, no throw, and the ball. Zach Paschke mishandled the throw there from Sam Ireland. That was a good play, but Paschke just couldn't handle it, and Mountain Vista ends up getting no outs, and a run scores for the Lobos. Not great defense there by Mountain Vista, not what they want to see.
Ireland made a good grab, and I don't know whether Sam's throw caught Paschke off guard or whether or not Paschke just didn't handle it well, but the ball rolled by him, and then rumbling in from third base was Meta Lloyd. All the way down at third base now because of the error is Nelson, and a back-breaking error for the Golden Eagles, a team that really prides itself on its defense. That was a difficult but not an impossible play, and unfortunately went awry for Zach Paschke. Rocky Mountain now with a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th.
Definitely going to hurt the Golden Eagles, however. They do have some wiggle room still. Hopefully Cole can get another ground ball up the middle so that Mount Vista can get a double play. However, the Lobos do have runners on the corners with only 1 out, so a good opportunity here for the Lobos. Blatchford going to have to work out of trouble yet again.
When you hate to have trouble that's self-induced.
Definitely.
For Nelson, number 1, Hayden Hines. Chance run. At the plate for the Lobos, left fielder number 34, Brady Morris.
So the Lobos do take a 3-2 lead here, bottom of the 5th inning.
Runners at first and third, and with 1 out, Mountain Vista will play back for the double play.
And
a bunt.
The bunt is going to stay fair. Ireland's going to tag out Brady Morris, but that bunt will get another run home as Gendrew comes in to score.
You know, you'd ask whether Gendrew could run, and the answer is yes. Came down the line pretty well. Outstanding bunt from Brady Morris. And a huge second run here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
So a good bunt there as they take a 4-2 lead now. Mountain Vista going to have to put up another 2-run inning to tie. Blatchford's pitch taken for strike 1 by Madrano, who has 0 for 2 today with 2 flats, 1 to left, 1 to right. Blatchford's pitch. Curveball. Little backdoor action there.
We got a late start in this ball game as Legacy and Cherry Creek played for 3 hours and 15 minutes. Bruins win that one 13-12. We've only been going for an hour and 3 minutes here at All City. Rocky Mountain with 2 runs here in the 5th inning and still batting with a 4-2 lead. Cole Blatchford struck him out
Good
with a
pitch there.
fastball.
Good pitch there by Blatchford, threw it right by him, but the Mount Vista Golden Eagles offense has some work to do.
4-2 now, Rocky Mountain.
However, Mountain Vista has their big bats coming up. Cole Blatchford, Sam Ireland, Grant McGill, Alex Clothier due up this inning for the Golden Eagles.
The error just so hard.
Definitely hurt Mountain Vista. And you know, late in the game you can definitely point at things like that come back to hurt teams, but hopefully it doesn't affect Mountain Vista too much as they're able to
Well, and since
stay tough
that
and battle
first
back.
inning, though, Hunter, since that first inning, Mountain Vista really hasn't put anybody on base. They haven't threatened at all, and Rocky Mountain had kept getting guys there, leaving runners at the corners in the first, leaving runners on again in the third, and this time they get runners on early and get the 2 runs across in the 5th inning. Golden Eagles have not gotten a guy have only gotten 1 player past first base, and in fact only 2 hits since the first inning.
So we are getting word that Cole Blatchford has thrown 81 pitches, so that pitch count getting up there. However, no action in the bullpen yet from Mountain Vista, so it looks like Blatchford will go for the 6th inning.
Only 3 hits for Mountain Vista since the first. They really need to get something going here. If you can hear the public address announcer through our microphones, you'd know that the Broomfield Eagles defeated Rock Canyon today 5-2, and they are the 4th team joining Rocky Mountain, Cherry Creek, and Mountain Vista in the state semifinals to be played here on Friday.
I think that's 4 powerhouse teams, huh, Jeremy?
Yes, absolutely. Probably the 4 best teams in the state. You know, a lot of people would say maybe Legacy was there, but certainly teams that belong. There are no big upsets, partly because there's no great team in Colorado baseball this year.
Yeah, there's no one team you look at and really point at. And Blatchford grounds one. Diving play at third and making the play is Hammer. That's a great play there. Ball was tattooed down the line by Blatchford, but Hammer right there laying out, making the backhand dive, throw across the diamond to get Blatchford. That's a fantastic play there by Hammer.
Such a difficult play because he has to stop the ball and then get up and have the presence of mind to hurl it across the diamond 120 feet. Big out.
Sam Ireland stepping up. Takes curveball in there for strike 1.
I've been impressed by Wagner. He's thrown pretty well. He's mixed it up pretty well. After giving up those home runs, he hasn't really been threatened at all.
Strike 2 is taken by Ireland. Thought that might be a little inside, but I definitely agree with you. Wagner really has settled in since that first inning and really started dealing, you know, showing people that, as that pitch is outside to Sam Ireland, but showing people that I've only thrown 16 innings, but, you know, I can still bring in my ERA. He's still 2.1, and I haven't lost yet, so. As Ireland smashes a base hit to left center field for Mountain Vista. And with 1 out, they have a base runner, which is something that they haven't had in a while.
Yeah, that was a breaking ball that just stayed a little bit flat, and it was up for Sam Ireland. He hit it pretty squarely. Wasn't going to power it particularly far, but a very solid base hit. And now it's up to Mountain Vista. Can you scramble a run here, make this thing close going into the 7th inning?
Grant McGill coming up.
McGill obviously with some power.
0 for 2, he reached on an error in the first and hit a ball right on the nose, but right at the center fielder. And this ball's up the middle. And this is going to get past the diving second baseman, Matt Lloyd, and Ireland will go first to third here with only 1 out for the Golden Eagles. So runners on the corners and 1 out, threatening, and senior Alex Clothier are going to come up.
Isn't that funny, though? He hit the ball so hard his last time up, and I'm talking about McGill, the catcher, who's standing at first base. And then this at bat here, in the top of the 6th inning, doesn't hit it particularly hard, puts it just in that moment of grass where nobody's going to get to it. And you wonder whether or not the second baseman, Madeloid, was playing, maybe anticipating the running of Cole Blatchford, but anything can happen at this point.
And that one was slowed down by the grass a little bit there. I didn't think that would sneak through, but it did. And Mountain Vista with a good opportunity as Alex Clothier steps in and takes strike 1.
And we do need to mention, I think we mentioned it earlier in the game, that this infield has been grown out a little bit and is playing slow. The outfield is playing very slow.
So a ground ball base hit would definitely get one in. Alex Closier shows bunt, but takes back and takes a ball. So a base hit would definitely get one in. Ball in the gap could potentially get two in as Mount Vista brings in courtesy runner Cooper Jamison to run for catcher Grant McGill. So some speed at first as Jamison takes his lead. And they're going to fake to third and go check on the runner at first.
Clothier in the year, 8 runs batted in, but just 1 extra base hit. I think he's got some deceptive power, though.
Clothier. Smash hit up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit. 1 run's going to score, and Jamison is going to stop at second. And a great piece of hitting by Alex Clothier to just shorten up his swing, go right back up the middle, drive one in, and get one back from Mountain Vista. Still only 1 out in the inning.
This is what this team does. They battle, they scrap, they go single, 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 and the fact of the matter is it doesn't have to be a glamorous home run or a screaming double down the line. All you got to do is get runners on base, run the ball well, and just like that, Mountain Vista's rallying.
The thing I've noticed about Mountain Vista is they do scrap singles together, and then they do have that one big hit with guys on base. So,
and they take advantage of pitchers' weakening. They take advantage of mental lapses, but they do not relent. A 2-run gap in the state tournament does not seem to bother this team very much at all.
Not at all. So another runner in scoring position for Mountain Vista. Runners on first and second with 1 out. And out comes the Lobos coach. And I believe we're going to have a pitching change here, Jeremy, as he doesn't like what he's seeing from Trey Wagner, I guess.
No, I think you're right. Looks like the third baseman, Hammer, who's their closer, if there is a closer, looks like he's going to come in.
Maybe
we'll have to stay on top of the situation. Hammer, I'm digging through some papers, so I apologize if that annoys you. He threw in .1 inning in the game yesterday to close out the game against, I think, against Rock Canyon with runners on base, and then.
So he has thrown very hard here in his warm-ups. I believe we're just going to have a direct switch. I think Kalen Hammer and Trey Wagner are actually just going to swap spots, go from pitcher to third and third to pitcher. So
Hammer on the year, as we dig through the multiple pieces of paper. Let me shuffle them for you so you can hear them.
Looks like a good changeup also here, so he's going to come at you with that fastball changeup, and he just gave sign for a curveball, so it's a good breaking
pitch. Not a bad curveball. He's got a funny arm action, as you can see, in terms of his hand really flying away from his head a little bit, but he throws it with a pretty good velocity is the wrong thing. It's got a pretty decent spin. Hammer on the season has pitched just 3 innings, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's only given up a hit. Runners have not gotten on base very easily against him.
So, Lobos bringing in potentially who looks like to be their closer.
Yeah, he's got the only 2 saves that this team has gotten this season, and this is a save situation.
Bringing in their closer from in the bottom of the 6th, actually, or in the top of the 6th. I apologize. So, Mountain Vista. Hopefully, he can.
Tells you how important it is to these teams to walk out of this first 2 days with a 3-0 record. Whoever wins today has a huge advantage because they've got to lose twice next weekend to prevent themselves from winning the state title.
Good breaking balls in there to Alessandro Aragon for strike 1. So evens count of 1-1. But yeah, you know, he plays third base, has already shown off that arm with that throw across the diamond, so we know he has a strong arm, and we'll see what he can do against these Mountain Vista hitters. So Alessandro takes a curveball high.
He's thrown nothing but curveballs to Aragon. Mountain Vista with 2 men on, runners at first and second. Just 1 out here in the top of the 6th. They have a run in, so Kalen Hammer has been called on.
So Jamison at second with good speed. Not great speed at first with Alex Clothier. Average. Maybe a little below average, but that pitch is taken for a strike 2-2.
Hammer's been called on to stop the damage and get his team to the 7th inning with the lead.
You know,
we're also getting rain.
This really reminds me of Major League Baseball playoffs because, you know, you'll see teams bring in their closer in the 6th or 7th like this to really just stop damage, and the pitch is in the dirt, and that's going to make it a full count, 3-2 to Aragon.
It is raining. It is blowing. Be interesting to see what the umpires and the game officials want to do in this situation. It's 5:50 here at All City Field in Denver.
I think with how late in the game it is, I think they might just let it go and then call it if there's lightning, but we'll see what they do.
Well, we're not going to have lightning. I think it's a question of how slick the field gets, whether it gets unplayable or
Ball looks like it went
unsafe.
off. Sorry to cut you off. It looks like that went off Aragon's foot as he's limping around the batter's box. Hopefully he's all right. He's going to take a second. Go talk to his third base coach, Zach Higgins.
Zach played in the state championship game here when he played for Mountain Vista on the team in 2006.
Yeah, Mountain
That
Vista
made it to the state finals. Lost. This is going to shock you. Lost to a dynamite Rocky Mountain team.
So these two teams do have some history together, and
Nah, these kids were all 5.
so
Zach, part of a very good team, Mountain Vista's first team to make it to the state championship. They played in the state championship game 3 times.
other alumni on the coaching staff is catching coach Zach Stout and freshman coach Hatcher. So Mountain Vista with some alumni there, graduated players coming back to help coach. Hopefully lead this Mountain Vista team to a state championship. And a 3-2 by
Aragon's popped
Hammer.
up in the air.
And this is going to, what a catch by the second baseman there, Tyler Madaloid. I apologize for pausing, but
Holy
a phenomenal
moly!
catch with his back to Aragon. His back to home plate, back to us.
When he's looking up into the lights and the rain trying to catch a ball that's breaking away from him as he's running out on it, that is an outstanding defensive play. Maybe the third or fourth that we've seen today. Chrissa had one. Great play by Hammer. Good defense here from some high school baseball players.
So Drew Stahl stepping in with 2 outs. Swing, gonna miss a big swing there. Swings over on top, right on top of that off-speed pitch there by Hammer.
You'd mentioned earlier that Wagner, who started the game for Rocky Mountain, started with his curveball to set up his fastball. Same thing with Hammer.
And the
Just
throw goes
hurled
into
the ball
center
into center field.
Jameis and getting into second is Alex Clothier, and he will slide in safely as both runners advance, and now Drew Stahl just needs a base hit to hopefully give Mountain Vista the lead. With 2 outs, they will be running on contact, and umpire calls time. They will get a new baseball, as that one's probably messed with a little bit after that dirt, but just a bad throw there by Kalen Hammer.
Poor choice. You don't need, with 2 outs and runners at first and second, you don't need to try to pick the guy off. Maybe you're trying to keep him close in case the ball's hit on the ground, but really a poor choice there and put his team in a tricky situation.
So we'll see if Mountain Vista can capitalize on that error. Drew Stahl steps in, the leg kick, and he takes strike 2. All 3 at bats, Drew Stahl has been behind in the count at some point, so
The Rocky Mountain players ran in from the infield. They thought that was 3 strikes, weren't paying attention. Or maybe they were paying attention. There's a lot to deal with when you're out there playing baseball in the rain and the cold and the wind in the state tournament.
it looks like it is raining pretty hard out there. And Drew is going to swing and pop it up, and the catcher, Unrick, is going to make the catch, and a fist pump there coming off the mound from Kalen Hammer. So Mountain Vista will go into the 7th inning. I apologize, going to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is middle of 6th. That will go into the bottom of the 6th, down by 1. Hopefully Cole Blatchford can prevent Rocky Mountain from scoring any more.
I apologize for those of you who are yelling at your television or your computer screen wanting us to update the screen. We're into the bottom of the 6th inning. Rocky Mountain 4, Mountain Vista 3 in the Colorado High School Activities Association State Baseball Tournament. Mountain Vista with 2 wins yesterday over Dakota Ridge and Broomfield. Rocky Mountain got here by beating Cherry Creek and Rock Canyon. Both of these teams are assured of playing next weekend. They will be joined by Broomfield winners over Rock Canyon today and by Cherry Creek winners over Legend here in the first game at All City, 13-12. Those games are scheduled to be played 10 o'clock and 12:30 here at All City Stadium on Friday. Mountain Vista got off to a great start. 2 solo home runs in the first inning. Cole Blatchford and Sam Ireland going back-to-back. Rocky Mountain scrambled for 2 runs in the bottom of the 2nd. An RBI single from Kalen Hammer. The big blow there after the double from Tyler Highland. The Lobos added 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. Mountain Vista just scratched a run across in the top of the 6th inning. And I'd mentioned it earlier, 2 runners left in scoring position.
So Alex Clothier did just go down to the bullpen between innings to warm up. So who knows how long Blatchford has to last. Maybe we'll see Clothier here in the 7th inning. But first pitch to Tyler Madaloid is taken outside for ball 1. And Blatchford working quickly as he throws again outside, 2-0.
I was being vague for reasons that are not clear, but runners in scoring position as opposed to runs. Mountain Vista scored 3, but they've left 3 in scoring position, and that negative ratio really, really impacts your offensive efficiency.
That definitely does come back to hurt teams most often.
Yeah, there's never a situation where you think to yourself, oh, it's okay, we left runners in scoring position. If you can't tell through our broadcast, through windows and fence, it is raining and swirling pretty hard here. And we're still playing baseball, but if this game for some reason goes into a delay.
Paschke comes across the infield and makes a nice throw on the move there. With a wet baseball, that's a tough play to make, but Zach Paschke, no trouble. He gets the first out of the inning. Good pitch there by Cole Blatchford.
He's a good player. That ball looked like it was going to take a tricky hop off of the mound. It didn't end up, but nonetheless.
Tyler Highland, the 6'1", 185-pound senior center fielder, stepping in there. Lobos, the leadoff hitter. He is 2 for 3 with a single, double, and a fly out to center field. So he
probably
takes
been their
ball
most dangerous offensive player, though, today.
Probably. I would definitely agree with you, Jeremy.
My God, we just went adverb central.
Smash just went to Alessandro at third, who throws, and his throw's a little high, but no problem there for Sam Ireland, as the rain is really starting to pick up here at All City Field.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer we're going to play. This may be just the squall that we were talking about. I spoke too early saying that we had avoided the rain. We did not. It is coming down pretty well.
Well, Blatchford working quickly, and Mountain Vista will get their at-bats to hopefully score one and keep this game going in the top of the 7th, but if Mountain Vista does not score in the 7th inning, then the game will be over. Taken high for ball 1 by Kalen Hammer.
Blatchford into his 90s in pitch count pitching here in the 7th, and he does not look like he's lost very much.
No, he doesn't. He looks just as crisp as he did in the first inning. Alessandro gets a high hop, gets the baseball, throws the first, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for Cole Blatchford as he gets 2 ground outs to Alessandro Aragon and 1 to Zach Paschke. So Mountain Vista looking to pick up 1 run and keep this game going. Otherwise, they will have their first loss of the tournament. Remember, it is a double elimination tournament here, Jeremy. So
it is.
With how quickly that inning just went for Cole Blatchford, we will see if Mountain Vista does get that 1 run they need to keep this game going. If Cole Blatchford or Alex Clothier will come out. If Alex Clothier comes out, it'll be his 2nd or 3rd time coming out this season. Hasn't pitched a lot for Mountain Vista, so not that much experience, but he is a senior. He has pitched earlier in his earlier years with Mountain Vista, so he does have that playoff experience.
So Mountain Vista, regardless of the result of this ball game today, will play next weekend against Cherry Creek. I believe that with a loss, they will play at 12:30. With a win, they will play at 10 o'clock. That's on Friday, May 26th.
Well, Jeremy, it's kind of starting to pour here.
Yeah. Wanted to take a moment to congratulate the following Mountain Vista track athletes. At the state tournament this weekend, there's a lot of names, so we'll zoom through these. But in the girls' 3,200, Jenna Fitzsimmons finished 3rd, Caroline Eck 5th, Sarah O'Sullivan 9th. In the boys' 3,200, Carter Dillon finished 8th, Caden Foster 3rd in the boys' 800. Carter Dillon and Josh Romine 4th and 9th, respectively, in the boys' 1,600. Kara Lusick 3rd in the girls' 300 hurdles. Sydney Trickler, 8th in the girls' triple jump. Emma Smith, 8th in the girls' high jump. The 4x800 relay team finished 3rd. That's sisters Mora and Jenna Fitzsimmons. Caroline Eck, Sarah O'Sullivan. In the boys' 4x8 relay, Josh Romine, Carter Dillon, Caden Foster, and Ethan Rouse finished 3rd. The girls' 4x4, Kara Lusick, Madison Easton, Abby Waltz, Sydney Trickler finished 6th. And in the boys' 4x4 relay, Tristan Smith, David Kozad, Caden Foster, and Sheldon Hafner finished 8th. Congratulations to the Mountain Vista track team on a great showing this weekend. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Rocky Mountain 4, Mountain Vista 3 in the rain here at All City Stadium. I'm Jeremy Goldson. Hunter Worley doing the play-by-play, and last ups for the Golden Eagles, but
umpires, I believe that, remind me of the Rocky Mountain coach's name for me, Jeremy.
Scott Bullock. Something's happening here. We've got all 3 umpires and Coach Q coming out.
I believe.
And the question is, what's the mound look like?
And as the home plate umpire's hands go in the air, I believe we will be in a rain delay.
Oh, heavens.
So here in the 7th inning, we are going to go into a delay. It is 6 p.m. here at All City Field in Denver, Colorado.
I think we're just going to stay with you as long as we possibly can. It looked like Hammer didn't like the way that his feet felt on the mound, and that was sort of the moment, the decisive moment there.
As soon as he was raising those spikes, it looked like there was a lot of dirt stuck on there. It looked like he might have been slipping and sliding.
Right, he has to be able to land. The spikes have got to be able to stop his momentum. We're in the top of the 7th, no outs. Rocky Mountain 4, Mountain Vista 3. And Hunter, if we were a professional baseball organization, we could take phone calls at this point. We are not. We're just hoping you stay with us on YouTube as we cover the 5A state baseball tournament. Mountain Vista trailing Rocky Mountain 4-3. Rocky Mountain looking for their 6th state title in 12 years. They won it in 6, 7, 8, and 9.
So while we are in a delay, I want to talk about the girls soccer road to the championship game. In their first round, they knocked off number 30 seed Grand Junction 10-0.
That was quite a game. It was
offensive display by Mountain Vista.
Grand Junction put up a fight for about 15 minutes, and then the Mountain Vista wing play just took over.
Looks like they are getting some diamond dry out on that mound for the pitchers, but in the second round, they took down Pine Creek, the 14 seed. After 1-1, after both overtimes and no score, they went to penalty kicks, and Mountain Vista ended up winning on the 6th or 7th, I believe, penalty kick.
It also included one of the most heart-rending penalty kicks you've ever seen, as Mountain Vista keeper Bailey Baker stopped the ball, and it kept swirling. It spun that extra foot over the line. Might have been the decisive goal, but Shelby Unruh came up with the winner. Pine Creek, a team that Mountain Vista has seen and seen. Then in the quarterfinals against Legacy, a dominant 4-1 victory.
Mountain Vista scored early in the game, then scored again, and then Legacy came back. But then Mountain Vista scored twice in the
really a dominant performance.
And then I believe the most exciting game of the entire tournament as they took on defending champion Grandview, who they lost to last year in the state championship game. No score after regulation and both overtime. So again, Mountain Vista going to their second game in penalty kicks, and keep in mind they don't go to penalty kicks in the regular season. So Mountain Vista's second penalty kick game of the season and in the playoffs, and they came out on top.
We apologize to those of you who are watching the outstanding staff here at All City polish the field. We're going to turn the camera, and now you can watch Hunter and I as we talk sports. Hunter's a little bit discouraged, but his hair looked great today. My hair always looks like this as we line up here for some baseball. Mountain Vista, you know, we talk about this. It's great to talk about the soccer tournament, and we should finish that conversation. State championship game, Mountain Vista versus Arapahoe, Wednesday, Dick's Sporting Goods Park, 7:30. We're discouraged that we're not able to cover that game, but you can catch it on the MVHS network if it strikes your fancy, or if you want to pay money, just pay money and head out to Dick's Sporting Goods Park. We talked about the track team a moment ago. Mountain Vista lacrosse team had a great season, losing in the state quarterfinals to Arapahoe. Congratulations to the Cherry Creek Bruins, winning a state title this weekend in lacrosse. And here we are in the state baseball tournament. Been a interesting tournament. Golden Eagles won their first game yesterday 6-2 over Dakota Ridge, and then a 6-4 victory over Broomfield. Mountain Vista took a 6-1 lead on that one, helped greatly by some errors from the Broomfield Eagles, and then gave back 3 runs, but Jack Liffrig didn't seem really flustered by those 3 runs in the 7th.
I don't think so either. And as we look out onto the field, looks like shortstop and second base area are getting very wet here as the grounds crew works on the home plate area, but hopefully they can keep those 2 areas dry so that we can continue this game. It is still coming down pretty hard, but Jeremy, what would you do if I told you that Mountain Vista actually has 1 more hit than the Lobos do today?
Really? That would surprise me. It seemed like Rocky Mountain has had players on base all game long, but looking out at the scoreboard, which I can barely see, it looks like these 2 teams have combined for just 15 hits over the course of 7 innings.
Yeah, the Lobos do have a 1-run lead, but they have also made 2 errors. That one error, though, coming at a very inopportune time for Mountain Vista. The wide throw by Sam Ireland. It took Zach Paschke off the base, and he couldn't handle the throw. So Mountain Vista with 1 less error, but that error coming at a very inopportune time.
Both teams have been really solid defensively. Both teams have been really solid in terms of pitching. It's 2 really good teams. There's not been a moment in the game that you can say if this had gone one way or if it had gone the other that one team would lose. Rocky Mountain got behind 2-0 after those 2 big home runs in the first inning, and then they just battled back. But we've seen Mountain Vista battle back.
We definitely have. So the Lobos do have that 1-run lead, but Jeremy, what does the bracket look like if Mountain Vista does pull out this victory?
They will head into next weekend as the only team 3-0 in the tournament, and thus would have to lose twice in order to not win the state championship. They'll play Cherry Creek no matter what, but they would play the 10 o'clock game on Friday morning here at All City, and knowing that they could lose that game and still have to get to play another one. Whereas if they lose here, if they can't overcome this 1-run deficit, then it's really a tense situation with Jack Lifford going up against Cherry Creek
However,
in the 12:30 game.
Jack Lifford did get...
2:30 game. We're looking at noon and 2:30 next Friday, the 26th.
Jack Lifford did get the start the last time Mountain Vista met up with Cherry Creek, and Mountain Vista ended up getting a extra inning win against them as they had a very clutch relief appearance out of the bullpen from Sam Ireland. So their pitcher's really holding up in that game. So we'll definitely keep an eye on those two names. If Mountain Vista does meet up with Cherry Creek again, we'll keep an eye on them.
Been an interesting tournament. We started today with 8 teams still in it, and we've slowly broken it down to 4. Rock Canyon with a 7-4 win over Legacy in the early game this morning over at Metro State. Broomfield then beat Rock Canyon 5-2 to eliminate the Jaguars and send the Eagles into next weekend. Legend beat Dakota Ridge 5-3 and then lost a heartbreaker here 13-12 to Cherry Creek to send the Bruins into next weekend. And now this is the 5th game of the day over the course of 2 sites, and who knows when this one will finish. And frankly, I'm not sure how long Hunter and I will be here either. 4-3 Rocky Mountain in the top of the 7th inning, but we are in a rain delay. I'd love to tell you that we can throw it back to the studio and give you NBA highlights, but we can't. I can tell you, if you're riveted, connected to the television, that the Colorado Rockies against the Philadelphia Phillies this afternoon in Philadelphia, and the Rockies leading 3-0 middle of the 4th inning. Charlie Blackman and DJ LeMahieu with RBI hits. I won't run down the entire baseball scoreboard for you. I'm guessing that if you're watching this game that you have a phone or a computer, and you can check them out yourselves.
And be sure to tune in on ESPN at 7 o'clock if this game finishes before then. We have the 4th game of the Western Conference Finals between the Golden State Warriors and San Antonio Spurs. Warriors lead that series 3-0, and you know, basketball playoffs isn't as fun to watch as it used to be, is it, Jeremy?
No, what I'm more concerned about, Hunter, is I look at our producer, Jeremy Goldson, looks at the statistics where there are 2 people watching us right now, and the question is, why are you watching us? I mean, we appreciate it. Maybe they're related to you or I.
I don't know.
Holy moly. We're going to turn the camera back around and let you watch some of the field, and hopefully we will come back to you pretty soon and let you know what's happened in this ball game. Hunter and I are going to step away. It is the top of the 7th inning. Mountain Vista 4. Rocky Mountain 4, Mountain Vista 3, and the teams
Well, Jeremy,
are
yeah,
scrambling.
before we step away, it looks like everybody's grabbing their gear, and looks like some of our reporters here are also wrapping it up. The umpires are here in the booth with us, but we will see. They might just be going to their cars for a while, but we will step away.
We'll step away. We'll come back in just a minute, give you an idea what's happening in this one.
All right, so welcome back to All City Field. Unfortunately, we have just gotten word that this game will be postponed until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, so we will not be able to cover the remainder of this game, but you can follow updates on VistaNow's Twitter account, and make sure you check CHASA, chasa.org, the bracket for the state championship game, to see if Mountain Vista will advance if they can get at least 1 run in that last inning. So thank you for joining us today. I'm Hunter Worley with Jeremy Goldson, and we will be signing off here.
Yep, thank you for joining us. Hunter calls it right. We are suspended. Middle of the seventh inning, top of the seventh inning. Rocky Mountain with a 4-3 lead, but we'll pick it up again tomorrow morning at Metro. Thanks, Hunter. Good job.
Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you later.
All right.